One of the issues I was referring to in discussions with someone this morning is that many of the largest companies in our country are under enormous stress, but you don't hear about it. Many of you as perhaps small and medium-sized enterprise owners are struggling day to day. You may talk to your neighbors and find out that they're also struggling, but you think that Anglo and SAB and BAT are all doing very well and they're continuing to rake in huge profits, and government thinks the same thing. But I can assure you, as part of my job, to visit these large companies, find out what's going on, find out how we can jointly improve our economy, and many of them are very discreetly going through very difficult times as well. So across the board, small, medium, and large enterprises are very challenged by the current circumstances. What I would reach out to you to do, those of you who are established in business, to please help the new entrepreneurs along. Give them the support, give them the advice, give them the mentorship they require. Let's not adopt an approach where we keep everything to ourselves and we're concerned about competition and how someone else is going to take us out. Let's adopt a more open approach which underpins the fact that the better other businesses do, the better we. We now have an enormous victory that we've achieved, and that is in having Minister Zulu lead an SME ministry. To me, the optimism that flows out of that, the hope that gives us for our small and medium enterprises in South Africa is enormous. This is something that we've lobbied for, and this is something that other organizations have lobbied for. I need that real business information from you, through your chamber. Whatever problems you have, we are here to serve you. SACCI exists to serve its members. It's the only reason we work for you. And we're fairly influential, if I may say so. So use us. You're paying towards our upkeep as a chamber. So use us. Bring those problems to us. We will do our best to assist. At the very least, we'll ensure that you have a hearing with the leaders that you may not otherwise have access to. And you can table your concerns. And in that way, we will gradually bring about a better business environment. In that way, we'll overcome all these adverse trends of young people being discouraged from starting businesses because they see how challenging it is. Being an entrepreneur is not just about making big money. It's a very tough and very challenging path towards success. And we need government support in that path, and we need labor support in that path. And we need all of us to see that businesses present an opportunity to not just improve our economy, but they are a conduit for a strong stakeholder relationship between government, business, and labor towards a better South Africa, towards growth and better standards of living for all.
What we seek to do is to present the real opportunities within the government departments, within the chambers themselves, within the corporates, to say what are the real opportunities for SMMEs. Because some SMMEs are doing great work, but they're not aware of what it is that they can get from the DTIs or the NYDAs, the CFAs, So what we then seek to do is to bring all of them into one space and say they must really present to the organizations or the SMMEs to say what are the real opportunities and how can young people, because it's always good and easy to talk about they doing this program and that program, but when you interact with them, then they are able to say that these are the practical steps that you need to do. A gentleman from PRASA was actually advising the entrepreneurs there in SMMEs to say, really when you fill in a tender, you must make sure that you don't leave a question out. Because by you not leaving a question out, you already stand a chance of being disqualified. There was that, there's a quote that I believe in so much that says, it is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And my question to you guys right now, how many of you are prepared for opportunities? Because I think sometimes it's easy to always want to export, but you must always want to find out what is it that they need. Because some of us, we have products, but maybe our products are not relevant for the other market. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's important then to find out where do we want to tap into when we speak about exports. Because we want to supply a product that is needed where we want to serve it. I don't know if that makes sense. So I think that it's also important that we always look at our product to say, what is it really that we are serving? Is it needed where we want to take it? But I would advise most entrepreneurs to just take a trip. Take a trip to, just like how Netherlands people or Americans would come to South Africa and seek for opportunities, I think we should do that as South Africans as well. And it was shocking to find out that a trip to Dubai cost about 8,000 rand. Some of you could be shocked by that. How many of you know that it's 8,000 rand? But some people would think that it's expensive, but I think it's important that we explore. Because one of the things that we have as well in the SME Opportunities Network is the trade exchanges that we're trying to build now with the different chambers as well and organizations that support SMMEs in the other countries. So where we take the SMMEs to other countries so that they can explore the opportunities and see really what's needed in the other countries. Because as you guys would know that most people are flocking into South Africa looking for opportunities. But the question is, why are we not flocking into other countries to also look for opportunities? So I think it's upon ourselves to really say that what is it that we can do as South African SMMEs or entrepreneurs, to visit other countries, find out what they need, and then be able to serve them. But there's a quote as well that I would like to share with you that says, in order to be successful, you must be willing to do today the things that others won't do, so that you can have tomorrow the things that others won't have. I think we stand a very good chance as SMMEs to really come together, and lobby not only government but corporate as well, because there's enterprise development which we are membered by them, where they come to our breakfast and our sessions and present to SMMEs really to say, what is it that Nedbank is doing within their enterprise development, and how can you guys benefit from that? Because some of you guys, I can assure you today, there's so much opportunities out there, you just don't know that they are there. That's why I say to people that the more you know is the more you know that you don't know. And the moment that you realize that you didn't know, then you must always be pushing for knowledge. And I always say to people that learning is the beginning of health, learning is the beginning of wealth, learning is the beginning of becoming all that you were meant to be. So I really think that as entrepreneurs as well, we must not be lazy to learn, to do research, to find out what is happening. That when you have found success, don't let that success just be your own success, but let that success be the driver of other people's success. I always say to people that the day I realized that my success is not only my success is other people's success, that's the day I decided that I will never give up in my business. So whatever business you're into, try and find someone that is doing what you want to do or what you are doing already, but they're successful at it. And then you must then be able to learn from them so that you can be sure of what it is that you need to do.
Bill Cosby wrote, "In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure."
The saying goes, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So the more visible you become, the more opportunity you have for networking. Small business in South Africa contributes 40% of South Africa's GDP. So we can actually give ourselves a big pat on the back.
I'm going to talk about personal development and I'm going to talk about business development. Okay, these two, because these two integrate into a businessman that must then grow his entity, because the reflection of your organization is most always a reflection of the entrepreneur himself. The talent gives you the edge. Now, whatever talent it is, it doesn't matter whether you are from the township or whatever, but you must acknowledge your talent as early as possible in your life, because it's the one that gives you the competitive advantage in your business. Whatever you do, however you go about it, the only thing that you have, because as young entrepreneurs or SMMEs, we will always have limited resources. I don't care if you're an SMME as called Piptis. Now, creativity goes to a whole lot of levels. Creativity comes also at a point where you as an SMME, it's salary time tomorrow. You've only got 2,000 rand. Your salary bill is 85,000 rand. At 12 midnight, your staff are expecting their salaries. Now, what do you do in a situation like that? Because there's no money, there is no resources. What do? You become creative. That's the only solution you have. If you don't become creative on handling the situation and managing the situation, you're going to lose big time while you're starting to grow your SMME or your company. I've got over 32 companies to date. I don't even know how to put a business plan. Now, the knowledge gives you an opportunity and the power to invoice. Because knowledge alone empowers you to be in business. I left Head Boys, an advertising agency, because of the issue of time. I used to work every day, every night, for the same amount of money every month. And that day, when I discovered that this is not right for me, it doesn't make sense, I quit business and I quit working, I became an entrepreneur. I made a decision at that point in time that no matter what in my life, at the age of 20, I made that decision. When I finished my matric at 20 years old, which was very old to finish a matric, I made a decision that at the age of 25, I must become a millionaire. At the age of 35, no matter what, I must become a multi-millionaire. At the age of 45, I must become a billionaire. Now, I won't tell you what stage I'm at the moment. But that was the process that I met. I set up a long-term goal because I didn't want to be discouraged in the process of my goals. So I made them long-term. The most important thing is that after I discovered the power of time, that time is money, I then used my time differently. I started setting up different programs and different projects to make sure that I'm using my time. But my time, it was at the time that I was 25. And I said to myself, I'm not a millionaire yet. I think I need to do something that's urgent. The second thing is that whatever you do in the business, you have to own a market. Because you see, if you don't own a market, you don't own any market. The third thing is that within the business space is that, as I said to you, there'll be limited resources. But, however, you have an opportunity to exchange value. Now, most of us don't exchange value. We always think that we have to pay. That's why for me, the issue of tenders and funding were never an issue. Because for me, it's a matter of exchanging what I have. So these days, I exchange a lot against my magazines. I just exchange one page and I get something else. I would rather me have one client that is very satisfied, that I continuously do business with, that gives me business, than I'm chasing after 200 clients. Now, just the fourth part is that whatever you do, you must have a strong sales campaign, because sales is the essence and the lifeblood of your company. And just to give you an output of those principles, what they've done for me, what those principles that have done for me from where I come from, is that those principles have helped me build over 32 companies in South Africa. My group now is worth over 300 million. I've got a travel agency. I've got a publishing house, using all the same principles. I've grown my company to a level where there are still challenges, but challenges that I'm learning from, and that I understand that there are risks associated with it. But all I know is that I've used certain basic principles that can help you grow your company. But I'm saying to you also that everything is achievable if you align with this principle.
There we go.